NATO allies, 2 members of Europe's political order, and 2 governments increasingly at odds with the Western mainstream, Hungary and Turkey, are now aligning openly. In Istanbul, President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan and Prime Minister Viktor Orbán elevated their partnership to strategic cooperation, covering security, energy, economy, and wartime diplomacy. Erdoğan laid out the scope and ambition of this mechanism, treating it as a long-term project, reshaping Europe's security geography.
Değerli basın mensupları,
We have excellent cooperation in the areas of transportation, tourism, defense, industry, culture, and economy, and we have decided to further develop and broaden. In the areas of national security, defense industry, the leaders and ministers have already agreed to have a joint, coordinated 4+4 format meeting. I believe that this mechanism will further deepen and develop the cooperation.
This is the language of structural realignment, not one-off diplomacy. Orbán uses the most politically sensitive subject in Europe, migration, to deliver a direct critique of Brussels' security model. He is making the argument that Europe's stability is outsourced, and Ankara holds the leverage.
If Turkey were not to defend Europe and Hungary on the southern coast, then life in Europe would be impossible today. We would be swimming in an illegal migratory sea. The fact that this is not the case in Europe today is due to Turkey.
Energy was treated as existential, not economic. Orbán warned that Hungary's survival requires Russian supply and Turkey's guarantee of the route, invoking Europe's most fragile memory.
You may have heard that we agreed with the Russians that they will continue to supply gas and oil. We have no other source. I have already agreed with the president that you, the Turks, will provide the route. Think about the Northern Stream.
Hungary and Turkey are jointly rejecting the sanctions-first policy pushed by Brussels. Both leaders challenge NATO's prevailing strategy in Ukraine, arguing that the military path cannot achieve resolution.
Together with Turkey, we are part of the peace process. We see that there is no solution in the battlefield, and if there is no solution in the battlefield, then peace must be established. We are aware of the efforts of Mr. Erdoğan, and today we have agreed to coordinate our efforts to create peace.
hoş geldiniz diyorum.
In connection with the Ukrainian war, we would like a just and lasting peace. We have been saying this from the very beginning, and we will do everything we can to bring peace.
They are positioning themselves as the diplomatic channel to Moscow, inside the alliance. Hungary promises to advocate for Turkey in Brussels. Turkey becomes Hungary's essential corridor for energy. Together, they broadcast a vision of Europe where strategic autonomy does not belong to NATO command or EU institutions, but to sovereign governments operating on their own terms. This is the emergence of a power axis inside the West that believes Europe's direction must change, and that they are the actors capable of changing it.